Hi, I'm Lynn from the Happy Hormone Cottage, and welcome to our Cottage Conversations for 2012. This is, I think, my fourth one to do. I can't believe it's been 4 years, going on 4 years, that we've been in business, and I'm really excited to be here with you. What I do every October, I don't know why we pick October, but we just kind of do a yearly update to kind of keep you up to date with what's been going on in our lives and all the new information and health care that applies to keeping our women happy and healthy. So we're getting ready for another one at this point, so I've got notes, so just bear with me. The biggest announcement that I have is we've sold our retail piece to CVS, so we can focus on doing just one thing really well, and that's compounding. And we focus on women's and men's hormone therapy, of course, but a lot of pain management, IV solutions. We compound for veterinarians and surgeons, oral surgeons, and so on. So it's really been a big deal for us to actually have access to just this passion. So we're excited to be just a 100% compounding lab. That's the biggest change for us in our business. We still have our wonderful locations. We have 3 offices in Kettering. We have our lovely Happy Hormone Cottage itself in the heart of Centerville, which we love. We have the Mason office where I'm in right now, and sort of in Cincinnati. And then we have our newer office that opened last, I think maybe September, October, in Crestview Hills, Kentucky. So we pretty much have the whole eastern seaboard covered from Dayton, Cincinnati, and northern Kentucky. We also have a presence starting up in St. Louis, Missouri. One of our wonderful employees got transferred with her husband to St. Louis, where she's from. So she's actually opening a cottage in St. Louis, so we'll have a presence there. As we speak, she's setting that up right now. That's kind of exciting. So, of course, my website is a great place to get the latest information. I'm passionate about my website, keeping it up to date and fully functional. And we now actually have a mobile app. So you can go to your app store, and it's a free download. Just type in Happy Hormone Cottage, and up will come this app, and click on it, and it'll be downloaded for free, and you can have me in your back pocket for as often as you need me, and I'm excited about that. So, okay, let's go ahead and start. I'm going to use my notes here for a little bit. We've really kind of upgraded this year, and I do a lot of public speaking and a lot of presentations to women and men and groups and just community support groups and so on, and I found that having my information to take with me and be portable has been very effective. So this is the first banner that I began with. I think it's been the past few months I've begun using this, but it kind of talks about the key points of our cottage. And what we have noticed over the past 3 to 4 years of doing this is that most women at about the age of 35 want 3 key things, and they're to sleep, to lose weight, and to have libido. And we know this happens about the age of 35 when our progesterone levels begin to decrease, and that's coming up in my next section on the tasks of hormones, so stay tuned for that piece. But getting back to what women want, mid-30s or so, early 40s, hormone imbalance issues become apparent, and women do notice they're having, many of them, a harder time sleeping, that weight begins right around that midsection, they have a hard time losing it, and then of course their sex drive sort of disappears. And my kind of tongue-in-cheek line as well, tired women don't really want sex, do they? If you're tired, it's probably the last thing on your mind. So getting sleep and having energy is really key, we have found, for libido. So that's what women's issues seem to tend toward. It also, of course, with the hormone imbalance includes things like the hot flashes, the brain fog, the mood, the irritability, the sugar cravings, the aches and pains, the fatigue, just a whole gamut, the increased risk of breast cancer. So we really find that hormone imbalance issues are fairly critical in our health today, and we really want to do what we can to be proactive and preventative. And actually, our Happy Hormone Cottage really is all about wellness, maintaining wellness. And I contend this: by the time you have the disease, it's already sort of late, isn't it, to address the disease? Then you're focusing on getting rid of the symptoms and treating the disease. If we can prevent the disease, why would we not do that? So what my goal is educating women about hormone imbalance issues to be proactive in treating them and replacing depleted levels naturally so we can help actually promote wellness. So I think that's a key piece. My passion is women helping women in helping wellness. I think that's just a really important piece for me. We've talked about this before in previous cottage conversations, but lots of times women feel like, especially older women, they've gone through menopause. Oh, I'm done with hormones. I'm done with menopause. I'm finished. Whew! And that could not be farther from the truth. The truth is that when you're finished with menopause, you need hormones the most. And I'll refer to that in a moment on our tasks of hormones and why they're so incredibly important. We have lots of myths of hormone replacement, which I've addressed in previous cottage conversations, but everything we make is FDA approved. You can bill your insurance company for getting your hormone levels checked, and we do use HSA accounts and flex spending accounts, and we can bill insurance for the monthly hormone creams. They're not expensive, about $1 a day or so for each hormone, so not a lot of money. So that's a myth that it costs a lot. I don't think it does. And then the benefits of customized hormone replacement is this. We can listen to your body and adjust dosing as we need to. It is not a one-size-fits-most. You know, compounding has been around for hundreds of years. Think back to your great-grandparents, the mortar and the pestle and the doctor coming to your house and making house calls and mixing up your medicine. That's what we do. And then the big pharmaceutical companies came along in, I think, the mid-60s, and all of a sudden we began this dosing for the masses. Take 2 pills and call me in the morning. And that's sort of become our standard of care in our country. And if you think about it, I ask myself, is that really the best thing for me? Am I like anybody else in the world? Should I take the same dosing that you take and you take and you take? My answer for me is, well, probably not. So I love the fact that we can customize dosing for each person and meet that individual person's body's needs. I think that's really critical in what we do. We are known at our cottage for customer service, affordability, and non-invasive treatment. We use topical creams. They come in these syringes, and you measure them out. We have the teal green for testosterone, the yellow for progesterone, the purple for estrogen. And you simply put a measured dose, you push the syringe on your finger and rub it on various parts of your body that we instruct you on, and the cream goes right into the bloodstream. Not invasive, not messy, easy to apply. And again, we can customize that dosing as we need to. So it's really a great delivery system. Again, I think my biggest passion has been educating. You know, I'm a teacher by trade. I taught inner city Cincinnati for 30 years. And so I love educating people. And I simply traded that passion from middle-aged children to middle years women, and middle years beginning about age 35. And I want to include that to mention men as well. We also deal with a lot of men now. Women are better. They're bringing their husbands in to talk to my husband, Jeff, the compounding pharmacist, and he deals with the men and writes therapy for them as well. So it's not just women, it's women and men who have hormone imbalance issues. Now let's talk for a minute about the tasks of hormones, because I think, again, education is key. Learning is a change of behavior. I'll say that again. Learning is a change of behavior. So when I educate you, if you learn and I can change your behavior, then you're going to be promoting wellness for your body, and that's really a passion of mine. So let's talk about what each of these hormones do in the body, okay? First though, let's talk about progesterone. In all my talks that I give, I always begin with this, my favorite hormone of all, because it's when we lose at around the age of 35, it begins to deplete, and thus begins the hormone imbalance issues. Up until about 30, 35, everything is pretty stable. Your fertility rate is heightened and you're able to conceive more easily, and your body really hasn't begun the significant aging process yet, but about the age of 35, we find that the ovaries and the parts of our body that begin to age begin to produce less progesterone, and we begin to see these issues happening because progesterone's biggest task is, guess what? Sleep. And that's one of the basic needs of women. So progesterone helps women sleep, it helps fight depression, it helps anxiety, it helps elevate the mood, prevent sugar cravings, helps aches and pains, and this is critical, it helps balance estrogen to help prevent breast cancer. One little hormone does all of this. Let's talk about estrogen for a second. Whereas we have found standard of care in our country normally addresses estrogen issues first, we find that we don't do that. We use progesterone as our initial hormone balance strategy, and then as we finish menopause and stop having periods, and we check our levels, then we can introduce a little bit of our estrogen therapy. And estrogen is important. It does over 300 jobs in the body, helps protect the brain from dementia, also helps prevent heart disease. So it's a really big hormone, but again, it's not our first line of defense. Our first line of defense is progesterone. Then as we age and finish menopause and we check our levels, which is critical, we can always introduce our estrogen. So we have that nice balance going on as we age. And again, it's for wellness. It's to help prevent disease. It's a whole different strategy. And then finally we have testosterone. It's not just for men anymore. Testosterone is very important in building new bone, in helping energy, memory, recall, and when we also address adrenal fatigue, can be important in helping libido as well. So we really find that by addressing our 3 hormones that we have, checking levels first, being proactive, and customizing dosing with our natural therapy, we've had great success in our women feeling better, regaining their sleep, regaining the ability to lose weight, regaining libido, energy seems to come back, adrenal fatigue is addressed, thyroid is also addressed, and the bottom line is women are feeling better. So we've had a lot of success with this the past 3 or 4 years. So I'm excited about that we can actually now begin to address our body's issues in a different way than just drug therapy, where it's one size fits most and levels aren't checked before, and it's hard to measure. When you put an estrogen spray of the month on your arm, and you get that's the direction of just spray this on your arm, and you haven't checked all of your levels, I don't find that a very wise move for me personally. I want to know what my levels are. I want to measure them. I want to be on top of them. I want to be able to customize dosing for my body, for me, again, for wellness. And I do want to talk about one thing. What we've discovered, a new policy for us, is that to keep in the loop with your doctor and with your hormones levels, we like to do this ZRT blood spot test kit every year. We've said before, when your body becomes symptomatic again, but this is so inexpensive and so easy to do. You prick your finger, it's $40 per hormone to check. So if you just check 2 hormones, it's $80. Why not? And we like to really suggest that you do this every year. The results come back into us at our compounding lab. Jeff and his pharmacy consultant, Dawn, who's also a pharmacist, look over your results, and they might make a recommendation to your doctor for changing or adjusting therapy. We've had a lot of success with that, to keep up with and be proactive. Again, if you already have the disease, it's kind of late. We are all about being proactive and preventing health issues before they occur. And that takes me to my next topic, which is functional medicine. Functional medicine actually is a great field that's become new to me. Jeff is back in school now, taking classes in functional medicine. Functional medicine is a field where it looks at the whole body holistically. It looks at genetics, lifestyle, the environment, stressors, diet, exercise. It looks at the whole body to help prevent disease. And they don't just use drug therapy. Functional medicine doctors don't just use drug therapy. They use a plethora of strategies, including natural hormone balance, which is great for us, supplementation, drug therapy as needed. And through my own research with functional medicine, I've come to discover that our current standard of care in our country is about 50 years behind the science and research. 50 years. I think that's alarming on many levels. So I really like to endorse, when I can, the functional medicine path. And Jeff really has had the need to go back to school because he found it a challenge to work with people in the area who weren't well versed in this. There just weren't anybody. There weren't any doctors we knew of who were doing functional who were practicing functional medicine. So he's gone back to school. He's in school now to get his fellowship, so he can actually help our clients and look at their whole body and work with doctors on treating the whole body, and not just the uterus or not just the adrenal glands. But our body as a whole is critical. So we're all about that piece, the holistic piece. So what we do really does fall beautifully into the lap of functional medicine, where it's proactive, it's about wellness, we measure levels, we can evaluate progress annually. There's not a lot of guessing involved, and we really are held accountable, and I just love that we've raised the bar in that area. So those are our 3 banners, and I can tell you that no matter what we do, I can educate all I want, I can talk till I'm blue in the face, we can get doctors on board, but the bottom line is right here. Do you have what it takes? Because here's where it's most important, where the rubber meets the road. When you go to your doctor's office and you want to talk about natural hormone balance and the Happy Hormone Cottage and what we do need a doctor's permission to proceed. And if your doctor, God love him, is traditionally, conventionally trained, he might not really be well versed in what we do. And we like the doctors who are open-minded enough to want to work with you and say, you know what, let's give it a whirl. We have found this bumper sticker. Some doctors have this particular attitude. Condemnation without investigation is the height of arrogance. If that is your doctor, you probably won't be successful, and then we advise that you find a new doctor and we can help you with that. We really like the doctors who are open-minded. We like to work with family practice doctors, DOs, and some OBGYNs are open-minded as well, that are willing to try something that's not really in their wheelhouse, I guess you could say, but they're willing to research it. On my website, I have a lot of clinical studies and a lot of information about hormone balance. If they have the motivation to pursue that line of thinking, they certainly can, and then work with you on that. We had a horror story last week. Some poor gal came to us from Lima and went to her doctor of 20 years, and her doctor had always indicated that she'd work with her on whatever it is she wanted. So this client came in with a recommendation from Jeff, and she'd had her labs checked with our ZRT testing kits. And the doctor looked at her and said, if you do this, I'm no longer going to be your doctor. And so my client was just like stunned. So she got up and she left, and she's going to a new doctor. And I'm like, good for you. Good for you. You know your body. You know what you want to do. You've researched it. We've empowered you to take charge of your journey. And I think you should do that. So I was so impressed with her. She's on her path to wellness. So really, you have a choice. You can do what you've always done. And in the words of Dr. Phil, how is that working for you? If it was working for you, you probably wouldn't be talking to me, right? So I just think I learned so much every year about women and their resilience, and I'm so proud to work with the women that come to me. They're not all successful, I'll be honest with you. The women that just go back to their doctor and take their word as law are not better. And I can't own that. I used to feel badly about that. I don't anymore. I cannot own those women's journey. I can only own my own journey. And the women's journeys who are assertive with their doctors, I can help them along the way. But if you're not going to think for yourself and do the research on your own, then I really can't help you. So it's a partnership is what I'm saying. Not only do we do the natural hormone balance, but we also do a lot with supplements, because here's the truth. You just can't put progesterone cream on your wrist and think you're going to be great. Yes, it's going to address the issues progesterone is responsible for: sleep, anxiety, elevate your mood, and so on. But you need some supplementation to help you. For example, our adrenal glands need some work. A lot of women are very tired, they're exhausted, they're multitasking, their adrenal glands get worn out. We check adrenal function, and if the results come back that they're a little off, we have a lot of supplements that we offer, a wide range of supplements that we use to massage and heal your adrenal glands. Sometimes we find that if your hormones are out of whack, the adrenal glands are faulty, and the thyroid can be sluggish. So we have thyroid supplementation as well. I don't have vitamin D with me right now, but vitamin D is critical to help aches and pains, prevent breast cancer, help depression. It's 10 cents a day. Vitamin D. And we recommend 5,000 units of vitamin D a day. We have other adrenal therapy from Orthomolecular, one of our favorite supplement companies. We love Douglas Labs. We love these guys. They're wonderful. We love Nordic Natural for omega-3s, and fish oil is a great company in our opinion. So we do a lot of work with them. And in fact, we've spent some time this year investing in training our employees in supplements. So we had Orthomolecular and Nordic Natural send us their best training reps. And we sat down with them for a few hours in a seminar and learned all about the products to help our women. So it is about supplementation and hormone balance to promote wellness. A lot of women will go to Kroger's or CVS or their health food store and they'll just grab. Oh, I've read the latest, I've heard something about this, and they'll just grab. There's no strategy, and they spend a lot of money. This is something they don't know is going to work. We provide you a strategy. Vitamin D, magnesium glycinate, adrenal therapy, thyroid, omega-3s, really important. And we provide you with a strategy. Guess what? Our women are better. Now let's talk about time frame for a second. You probably, although we have had some women who come back the next day and say, woohoo, I feel better. And that's great. Typically, the farther off your levels are when we work with you, the longer it takes to replace them to feel better. We can typically predict that you'll begin to notice the difference in about 3 weeks. That's not a long time, 3 weeks. If you've been suffering for a while, 3 weeks is pretty doable. We really begin to notice the big picture about the third month. And every month, my employees, who I can't speak highly enough, they're so dedicated, they're all on the therapy as well, will call or email you every month to see how you're doing. About the third month, you might have to have your therapy adjusted a little bit, so we talk about that. Again, customized dosing, we adjust the dosing to meet the needs of your body, really critical in hormone balance. And then once we get you up and running, you're pretty good for a while. I've been on my therapy since I was 49, so that's 8 years. Gosh, I'm getting old. And I think I've only had to have my therapy adjusted once I got going up twice. Not bad in 8 years. But again, we like to check those levels every year to make sure we're all on the same page. Let me just take a little side note here because I didn't talk about this year. But again, to check your levels, we don't really like blood serum that doctors like to use it because the levels in blood serum are so great. You have to be dead to be out of range is my line. We like the very specific ranges in the ZRT kits, the combo kit and saliva kits. They're the same thing. The saliva kits check the estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, and DHEA in the morning, plus the cortisol morning, afternoon, dinner time, and evening. And the combo kit does the same thing, but also includes a 4-spot thyroid test as well to check free T3, free T4, TSH, and something called TPL that I think that's thyroid peroxidase, and it's an indication of inflammation in your body, I think, from the thyroid. And so this also checks that. The prices, we'll talk about at the consultations, not exorbitant. Sometimes you can bill your insurance, but the bottom line is you've got to be in charge of your wellness, and you are going to have to spend a little bit of money, and nothing is free, and insurance won't really pay for everything. It might. Again, we do take HSA accounts and flex spending accounts as well, but this is how we check the levels. And the thing I like about the ZRT lab and the saliva testing and the blood spot testing is it does check the hormone levels at the tissue level of cells, and the ranges are very specific, so we can actually, excuse me, measure specifically where you are, and then kind of keep track of that over the years. And we've had a lot of success with that. So that's the hormone piece and the adrenal fatigue piece of what we do. We've had great success. So we began with one little cottage in Centerville, and now again have offices in Kettering, Mason, Ohio, Crestfield, Kentucky, and we're opening a presence in St. Louis. So I think that's great. We'll talk about marketing for a second. Our biggest success story is our women who are better, and they talk to their inner circle, and they send their inner circle, their friends, their family in to see us, and then the word spreads. But for me to really impact more women, I've had to really go out and I've done radio, I've done TV, but I found a lot of success with billboards because everyone drives by them and they're so visible. So my latest billboard campaign, I have 2 messages. The first one is what women want, and that would be this: sleep, lose weight, and have libido. And the next one that I love is, do you have what it takes? And not only is it a billboard, but of course I had this side travel with me when I do talks. But if you don't have what it takes to get better and impact your doctor to work with you, then you're going to fail. Because as I said before, everything that we compound is prescriptive by law. We have to have a doctor's approval to do it. So do you have what it takes to think for yourself and be assertive when you need to be, probably with your healthcare practitioner or your mom who says, you don't want to do that, do you? Because they just don't know. To stand up for yourself and know common misconceptions and myths of what it is we do, which is BHRT, bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. Know that your doctor is bombarded with the same misinformation. So you're there to clear up his misperceptions as well. Because all he hears is what the latest, greatest drug rep might tell him about the estrogen product of the month. Nothing about what it is we do. I'm not a drug rep. I'm not out there at his door either. So it's really up to you to promote that message. And it's on my website as well with lots of studies. Understand the the significance of hormones and that they deplete with age, about the age of 35 until death. Take charge of your journey to anti-aging and disease prevention. Again, it's about wellness, being proactive with your health. Question your current care. Feel better by choosing a more natural path than your doctor might prescribe. Don't hesitate to disagree with when your doctor offers you an antidepressant or sleeping aid or estrogen product for a hormone imbalance issue. When you really know what you need is a natural hormone therapy, which is what we offer. Know that BHRT has been used in Europe for 30 years. Have you seen those French women? Oh my God, they're amazing. And they use BHRT for 30 years, and I think that's part of it. They're not overweight. They're not tired. I mean, they're just, it's amazing. You got to see it to believe it. Insurance should not direct our choices for health care. Know that there are many, many studies on BHRT. Check our website. So this is the do you have what it takes, I think is very powerful, because really you're in charge of your journey. I do have a story that I've also written a blog about this, an article in my Single Source News about one of my, a lady that I met at a networking lunch. And she came up to me and said, I'm interested in what my hormone levels are. So she came and had a consultation and got the ZRT combo kit and did her levels, and they came back. And her estrogen level should have been between 1.3 and 3.3. Picture that, $1.30 and $3.30. And hers was actually 303. It was like $303. It was incredible. So the range was 1.3 to 3.3. Hers was 303. 300 times more than it should have been. She was about my age. That is breast cancer screaming to happen. So she went back into her doctor with Jeff's recommendation for her therapy, which was to metabolize estrogen out of her body, give her no more estrogen for a while, give her some progesterone, support her adrenal glands, and I think give her a thyroid supplement as well. She met with her doctor, and the two of them together decided they would continue on the same treatment that she was currently on. I think maybe he scared her and she couldn't think for herself. So nothing that we did could change her mind. So she is what I consider to be a failure. I lost sleep over that for a couple of nights. I thought, oh my gosh, I don't know what I can do. I mean, Christopher Columbus felt the same way probably when he thought he knew the world was round. Everyone said, no, it's not. You're an idiot. It's flat. And he knew better. Well, thank God for Christopher Columbus, because we know today the world actually is round. And I feel a lot like that some days in the face of all this adversity and doctors' information and drug companies and the FDA and all the ads on TV. And I'm like, oh my gosh, but wait, it doesn't make sense. Does it make sense? And my biggest point on this is, well, how do you feel? How's it working for you? Here's another really cool story. Back in the spring, late spring, I talked to a local Board of Realty group. A lot of people in the room. One poor man who I loved picking on, and a lot of women. From all ages, all races, all ranges, everything. Just a variety of women. And at the end of my talk, I began with my "Do you have what it takes?" motto. And I went around the room and I asked every single person there how they felt. And with the exception of one cute little Asian woman, everybody in the room felt crappy. And they said, I feel crappy, I feel bad, I feel awful. Everyone, every single one except for one little lady. And I thought, oh my gosh, seriously? So what you're doing isn't working. What do you have to lose by going this route? What do you have to lose? And what do you have to gain? And I think that was a turning point for me. That I thought, oh my gosh, what I'm doing is important. It is much needed. It is like swimming upstream. It is not easy. I get tired. And we do need help finding more doctors to embrace what we do to work for you. And that's where you can come into play. You can talk to your doctor, have what it takes, and help your doctor get comfortable with what we do to help other women. Because what we're doing today isn't working. If it was, I wouldn't have opened 7 offices in 3 years. So I know it's not working. And being a middle-aged woman myself, it didn't work for me either. So we kind of have a couple of choices. To do nothing and continue to feel bad until we're dead, and I think we deserve more than that, don't you? Or strike up a new path for more natural hormone balance and educate our doctors. And if we can do those, I think you're going to see a change for the better. So I'm not going to give up, and I'm going to ask you to also help and just know that we have your back. Another piece we've added to our strategy this last year, 2 pieces. One is the weight loss piece. I don't know many women who don't want to lose a few pounds, from 5 pounds to more. So we actually have on my website a new program called Strategic Weight Loss Program. And a lot of it's based on orthomolecular, and a book called Wheat Belly. And I think I held that up last year in my taped piece. But what we believe is if you can detox your liver first with a great product like Core Restore, which is a week-long protocol, it can actually get your body ready to lose the weight by cleaning out all the toxicity of the liver. And women that do this Core Restore, which I think is $99 for the week, have lost between 7 and 11 pounds. And they've been thrilled with that. And that involves using the product, eating clean, and also working out. And then once the week is over, you go ahead and still eating clean and working out and being accountable for your health and weight loss. What we've found great success with is this great product called Glycemic Foundations. I use this every single day. And I use this in a smoothie before I go to work in the afternoon, and I put it with almond milk. I blend 2 scoops of this with almond milk, 1 scoop of a protein powder that's made by Orthomolecular called K-Pax powder, and I add a little scoop of a deeper greens powder from Orthomolecular, and I mix that up in a blender with some frozen blueberries, and that is a wonderful lunch. And the thing I like about this powder is it stabilizes blood sugar. So I no longer have sugar cravings, I no longer get weak from hypoglycemia. It keeps my sugar level stable in my bloodstream so that I don't have any issues, and I love that. I don't get hungry. So we recommend this for a lot of our women just for wellness, but if you are trying to lose weight as well, it's a great product. We also have an Inflammacore that helps inflammatory issues that I use maybe once a week to keep inflammation in my body down. It's just, again, it's all about wellness. So that's kind of the new strategy. The biggest success I can tell you I've had since last September is I no longer eat any wheat flour products. The name of the book is Wheat Belly by Dr. William Davis, and what he says is that when you eat wheat, it raises a glycemic response, and every time that glycemic response raises, you put on weight. It's a weight gain issue. And so over time, by eating wheat flour products, the weight just piles on and your blood sugar can become an issue. I think the goal for blood sugar today is 83. And every point you are above that, you risk diabetes, so it's a big deal. So by not eating any wheat flour, my blood sugar is beautiful, I feel good. I wasn't really ever heavy, but I have lost some weight. My pants are a little baggy. Jeff, my husband, has lost weight. My cousin, who's a truck driver in Virginia, has lost 30 pounds, and his blood sugar has gone from, I think, the 170s down to the 130s, and I think that's incredible. I nagged him into doing this program, and it's not bad. He does drink beer on the weekend, and that's not helping him, but he's eliminated every other wheat-based product from his diet, and it's showing. So I think it's a great protocol to just not eat wheat. It's not as hard as it looks. Yeah, I don't eat bread or I don't eat cereals, but I do eat an occasional rice-based pasta. I can still have chocolate, thank you God, and ice cream. So I'm happy with that. That's our weight loss protocol. We also have a great skincare product, and I made an exception in that. I always said I want to do one thing really well, and that's hormone balance. But I went to this. It was actually a Compounders on Capitol Hill event last April where we talked to our congressman about compounding and protecting the rights of people and compounders. And I found a really great skincare company called RX Skin Therapy, and a compounding pharmacist created this skincare, and she customized it. And I've had great success with it. I love it. So I do carry that in my offices as well, in Mason and Crestview Hills, Kentucky office. We do offer free skincare consultations. The products are they're reasonable. And then when you go to Sephora or a store, and I love Sephora, and I used to buy all their skincare products, you pay for that. These ingredients in the skincare that we carry are just right below pharmaceutical grades. They're top of the line products. You're not paying for the perfumes, the advertising, and the results are amazing. In fact, I've got a poster, before and after poster, and I think this is significant. It shows before and after for lines, blemishes, shadings, discolorations. My biggest concern, of course, are wrinkles as we get older. And I've had great success with this. My employees like it. We have some clients that are using it and are very happy with it. So I did break my rule of doing one thing really well. And because this was so great and I had such great success with it, I also carry this great skincare product as well. So the last couple of things is that I was approached by Single Source News to write some articles. They approached me in March of 2012 and said, we want to feature you on the cover of our magazine. I'm like, well, okay then. So it's our annual health issue. So I was featured in this issue and got a good response. And you know, I do like to talk, did you notice? And I love to write. I have a great blog, if I say so myself. It's wonderful. So the editor-publisher of the magazine, Mark Call, said, gee, can you write for us for the next few months? So I said, well, sure. So I've written an article every month, and I talk about, in these issues that come out monthly, I talk about things like the tasks of progesterone, how important estrogen is, estrogen dominance. I talk about libido. And my last one I talked about was we practice what we have. Whatever it is you practice in your life, whether it's yoga, exercise, eating well, relationships, whatever skill, whatever strategy, whatever passion you have that you put a lot into is what you're going to have in your life. So what you practice is what you have. Well, I practice wellness, hormone balance, eating well, working out. Yes, I still have fun and eat ice cream and chocolate when I can, but I don't overindulge. I want to be healthy and go the distance. So what we practice is what we have is my latest passion. And then again, do you have what it takes? And I think if we can use those two things together, do you have what it takes, and we practice what we have, and you really can embrace that and embody that, you will have just your best life naturally. And that's what we're known for at our cottage, empowering women to have your best life naturally. And if we can do that and help women achieve that, then we have really achieved our goal of women helping women. Hope you've learned a lot from today's talk. Hope it wasn't too long for you. I'm always an email away. My employees are always able to answer the phone. We answer our emails consistently. I do a lot of events. The best place to keep up with me is on my mobile app, happyhormonecottage.com website, or email. So until next year, have a great, healthy year. And this is to your best health naturally.